Is the FBI a beacon of justice and the envy of the world? Or is it a tool for political revenge? I mean, these days, it's really up to who you talk to about it. Kash Patel's nomination for FBI director has set leftist alarm bells ringing, with accusations of weaponization flying in every direction. The libnuts are accusing the Trump administration that isn't even in place yet of doing things that the Biden administration did repeatedly over the last 4 years. I had hoped that they would have learned a thing or two after the November 5th election results, but it doesn't look that way. It looks like they are going to go the route of warning the American people that the Trump administration is going to weaponize the Department of Justice and the FBI without it ever admitting that that's exactly what the Democrats did under the Biden regime, and that the incoming Trump administration is bringing accountability back to the real world. In this video, we're going to take a look at a Republican congressman completely schooling a CNN host when she tries to push that kind of false narrative. And we even have a clip of Barack Obama trying to do the same thing. But it's not going to work this time, and it looks like the Democrats just haven't figured that out yet. Let's get into it. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So, let's talk about something that has liberals getting their panties in a twist and sending out frantic tweets. Kash Patel, Trump's pick for FBI director. Ah! Kash, the guy who's been calling out government corruption for years, is now the one they fear will actually do something about it. Imagine that. Justice in the Department of Justice. CNN's Casey Hunt couldn't help herself but take a few swings at this news. During her show, she essentially asked Republican Representative Mike Lawler if Kash Patel were ready to launch Trump's so-called revenge tour. But here's the thing. Lawler didn't flinch. He calmly dismantled her narrative. Give it a watch.
Do you have any reservations about Patel potentially going after President-elect Trump's political enemies? Patel has a list of names in his book.
An enemies list.
Look, I don't think the American people are interested in a revenge tour. But obviously, if people did wrong in their official capacities, then that's something they should be concerned about. But if they didn't do anything wrong, if they upheld the law, then there shouldn't be a problem. The objective here, obviously, is to reform the Department of Justice and the FBI and get it back to its mission of going after criminals. You know, growing up in New York, the FBI in the aftermath of 9/11 was focused on going after terrorism. And obviously in recent years, we've seen the FBI and the Department of Justice weaponized in a way that it has become completely political. That's not good for the American people. It's not good for our system of justice. The lack of confidence that Americans have in the Department of Justice and the FBI is terrible. And so obviously we want a system that is reformed, that works for the American people, and that prosecutes criminals. And that should be the objective and the goal of every American. And obviously that's what my hope is as the Department of Justice moves forward under Pam Bondi and the FBI under Kash Patel.
If the goal is partisan neutrality, is Patel not a partisan? And it's also maybe worth noting, I mean, Christopher Wray was appointed by then President Donald Trump.
You got to love that. You got to love that. They always say, well, you know, Donald Trump appointed him, right? Jeez, that's like saying James Comey and Robert Mueller were both Republicans. Therefore, everything Trump is saying is wrong. These people are walking functional morons.
Right. And Christopher Wray's FBI then went and investigated Donald Trump.
Exactly.
These charges have since been dropped by the special prosecutor. But again, Casey, these issues have been litigated in this election that we just had. Donald Trump talked about this for 2 years, so I don't know why anybody is surprised. The American people voted for Donald Trump overwhelmingly, despite him campaigning on these issues. So, look, I'm not concerned about partisanship here. I think we've seen a DOJ and an FBI that have been weaponized.
Oh, yeah.
You look at the New York State Attorney General, Letitia James. She literally campaigned on prosecuting Donald Trump I didn't see many in the media objecting to that.
Nope, they cheered it. Now think about it. When was the last time you heard a mainstream, for lack of a better word, journalist openly acknowledge the DOJ's blatant partisanship? Oh, wait, never. That's what the lamestream media won't acknowledge. The American people voted for Trump knowing that all of this happened. In other words, the weaponization argument has already been litigated where it matters most, at the ballot box. Many Black and Latino voters admitted that they started listening to Trump and his surrogates because they witnessed the lawfare against him by the Democrats. I heard many of them saying that lawfare was invented to attack Black Americans, and so they understand bullshit when they see it. Here is Barack Obama, pretty much giving the same message as Casey Hunt. Though he doesn't come out directly and mention Trump's name or Kash Patel's name, he goes on to say that one party will do things to stay in power forever, and they'll go after their enemies by weaponization. Now, the Democrats love to say that Obama is brilliant. They said that he was a constitutional scholar, even though he violated the Constitution every day of his 8 years in the Oval Office. And yet, you're about to hear him go on and talk about weaponization of government as if it's a wholly new phenomenon that's never happened before. And when you watch this next clip, make note of how Obama, who has never been at a loss for words, found himself not being able to word his phrases carefully, lest Patel come after him too. Don't forget that Barack Obama spied on Trump's first campaign and then went along with the Russia BS. He authorized a lot of the lawfare that has been thrown by the DOJ and the FBI against Trump for the next 4 years of his first term. Give it a watch.
There are going to be times, potentially, when one side tries to stack the deck and lock in a
Look at that.
permanent grip on power, either by actively suppressing votes or politicizing the armed forces or using the judiciary, the criminal justice system to go after opponents.
Can you believe the balls, the moose nuts on this guy? He used lawfare. He abused his authority going after Trump. His DOJ and FBI literally spied on the campaign and then created a phony story about Russian collusion that went through the entire 4 years of his term. Unreal. Trump never got a peaceful transfer of power because of this bozo.
And in those circumstances, pluralism does not call for us to just stand back and say, well, I'm not sure. That's okay.
Unbelievable.
In those circumstances.
Meanwhile, what he's basically saying is, well, let us alone.
A line has been crossed, and we have to stand firm.
A line has been crossed. They're the ones that crossed the line. Trump's vision for his second term isn't just about undoing Biden's damage. It's about flipping the script entirely. Trump's words from his campaign trail resurfaced like a warning shot, quote, firing all of the corrupt actors in our national security and intelligence apparatus, end quote. Now think about what that means for the FBI and the DOJ and the deep state players who have skated by for years. Will they finally face justice, or will the media spin machine derail these reforms before they even begin? Lawler put it best when he said, the lack of confidence that Americans have in the Department of Justice and FBI is terrible. So obviously we want a system that is reformed, that works for the American people, and that prosecutes criminals. That's not what the Democrats want, guys. They want to be in power again so they can abuse that power once again with weaponization. And that, folks, is the heart of the issue. It's not about revenge right now. It's about accountability. So what do you think? Are we finally at the tipping point, or is this just another political show? Let us know in the comments below. All right. Thanks for watching. Subscribe. Hit that notification bell if you want to be kept up to date with the latest in conservative news and politics. I'll see you in the next one. Spread the word.